Sit down. Stop what you're doing right now. I'm about to tell you something nobody else will. The truth is, you already know what the hard choice is. You've known for years, but you're waiting for a sign, for permission, for someone to tell you it's finally okay to do what your gut has been screaming at you to do. I'm 84 years old. I've buried 4 people I loved with my whole heart. I've sat at the bedsides of the dying and watched them hold onto their secrets like precious stones, refusing to let go until their last breath. And I've seen the look in their eyes when they realized they waited too long to make the choice that would have set them free. I'm Helen Greywolf, and today I'm going to show you the 6 signs that tell you loud and clear you are ready to make that hard choice, the one you've been dancing around, the one that scares you so bad your hands shake just thinking about it. You're going to learn what's really keeping you stuck and how to recognize the moment when your soul finally says, enough. You're past 70 now, maybe past 75. The world around you tells you to settle, to be quiet, to stop making waves. They call it being content. They call it acceptance. But I call it what it is: slow surrender to a life that's half lived. The hardest part about this stage of life isn't your aching knees or your failing eyesight. It's the quiet scream inside you that knows you're not done yet, that there's still time, that the choice you've been avoiding is the very thing that could save whatever years you have left. And the terrible truth is, the longer you wait, the more of yourself you lose. Every day you put it off, a little piece of your soul dims. You feel it, don't you? That hollow space in your chest where your fire used to burn bright. You've been telling yourself stories. It's not the right time. I don't want to hurt anyone. What if I'm wrong? What will people say? I've heard them all. I've said them all myself years ago when I was stuck in a marriage that had turned to ash, raising children who didn't know who I really was, and pretending everything was fine while my spirit slowly starved. But here's the old way truth. The river doesn't ask permission to change course. It just moves. The seasons don't wait for an invitation. They shift when the time comes. And you were made to change too. You were never meant to be a stone sitting still in the middle of a dry creek bed. Modern life has lied to you. It's told you that stability is safety, that staying put is the noble thing to do, that your discomfort is a small price to pay for keeping everyone else happy. But those are lies from a world that doesn't understand the old bones beneath your skin. The ancient ones knew. When the fire inside you starts to smoke instead of blaze, it's time to either feed it or leave it behind. So here are the 6 signs, 6 clear signals from your own spirit, 6 ways your soul is trying to break through the noise and say, now, do it now. 1, you feel more tired in your spirit than in your body. You wake up in the morning, and before you even move, there's a heaviness. Not in your limbs. That's just age. No, this is deeper. It's a weariness that no amount of sleep can cure. It's the tiredness of carrying something that doesn't belong to you anymore. Folk wisdom says a dog will drag a dead bird for miles before it realizes it's not coming back to life. You've been dragging something that's been dead for years, and your spirit is exhausted from the weight. I remember Beatrice. She was 78. Her son had moved back into her house after a divorce, and he never left. He didn't work. He didn't help. He just sat in her living room and complained about the world. She'd come to see me, and her eyes were sunken. She looked like a leaf that had been trampled into the mud. She said, "I'm just so tired, Helen. Not tired from cleaning or cooking, tired in my bones, tired of seeing his face, tired of his voice, tired of walking on eggshells in my own house." I told her, "That's not tiredness, Beatrice. That's your spirit telling you it's time for him to go." She knew it. She'd known it for 2 years, but she was afraid. She finally asked him to leave last spring. You know what happened? She slept through the night for the first time in 3 years. That heaviness, it lifted. The hard truth is this: if you're more exhausted by the thought of a person or a situation than by the work of changing it, you're already ready to move. 2, you've stopped asking for advice because you know what you'll be told. You used to call your friends, your children, your sister. You'd tell them your dilemma, lay it all out, and wait for their wisdom. But now, you've stopped because you know exactly what they'll say. You're too old for that. Don't rock the boat. Think of the family. Just be grateful for what you have. And you know in your heart that they're wrong. You know they don't see the whole picture. They're comfortable with the way things are, so they want you to stay comfortable too. I had a friend, Earl, who was 82. He wanted to leave his town. He'd lived there for 50 years. His whole life was there. But the place had changed. His old friends were gone. The stores he loved were boarded up. And the town had become something he didn't recognize. He told me, "Every time I mention moving, my daughter says I'm crazy. She says I'll die alone somewhere. She tells me to stay put." But Earl said, "Helen, I'm already alone. I'm alone in a town full of strangers." He was ready. He knew it. He stopped asking his daughter's permission, and he moved to the high desert 3 years ago. I got a letter from him last month. He said he wakes up every morning and watches the sunrise over the canyon. "I wish I'd done it 20 years ago," he wrote. The hard truth is this: when you stop asking for advice, it's because you already know the answer, and you're tired of people trying to talk you out of it. 3, the thought of doing the same thing tomorrow makes you feel sick. You know that feeling. It's almost like nausea. You go through your day and you realize tomorrow will be exactly the same conversations, the same chores, the same quiet misery, and your stomach turns. That's not a physical sickness. That's your soul trying to vomit out a life that's poisoning you. A mountain river doesn't stay stagnant. If it stops moving, it becomes a swamp. It breeds mosquitoes. It gets sick. That's what happens to you when you stay in a place that's not feeding you anymore. There was a woman named Edith. She was 76. She'd been married for 52 years to a man who hadn't really spoken to her in 20. They lived under the same roof. They ate meals in silence. He watched television from sunup to sundown. She read books in the other room. When she came to me, she said, "Helen, I used to try to talk to him. I used to try to make things better. But now, just looking at his chair in the living room makes my stomach hurt. The thought of another dinner with him, another night in that house makes me want to run." I said, "Edith, that feeling is your sign. It's not hatred. It's your spirit telling you that you're dying in that house." She left him. She moved into a small apartment with a garden. She started painting again. She's 82 now, and she says she feels like a girl. The nausea, gone. The hard truth is this: if the thought of another day in your life makes you physically ill, you are not doing anyone any favors by staying. You're just killing yourself slowly. 4. You lie awake at night and feel a deep, angry pull toward something else. You're not sleeping anymore, are you? You lie there at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling, and you feel it, a hot, angry little ember in your chest. It's not sadness. It's not fear. It's rage. Pure, unadulterated rage at the situation you've let yourself stay in. And underneath that rage, there's a pull, a vision of something else. Maybe it's a different town. Maybe it's a room of your own. Maybe it's a decision to finally cut off a toxic child who takes all your money and respect. You see it, but then you push it away because it feels too selfish, too mean, too impossible. But let me tell you about the old way. In my grandmother's tradition, we believed that the dreams that come to you in the middle of the night aren't just dreams. They're your ancestors. They're the ones who went before you, the ones who lived through worse. They're pulling you forward. They're telling you to move. I had a vision once, years ago, when I was about your age. I was lying awake, furious at a situation I'd put myself in, and I saw my grandmother. She was standing by a river, and she was pointing across it. She said, "Helen, the other side is not a dream. It's a place, and the only thing stopping you is your own fear." The hard truth is this: that angry pull you feel at 3 a.m., that's your ancestors grabbing you by the collar. They're trying to drag you across that river before you drown. Don't ignore them. 5. You find yourself fantasizing about a different ending to your story. You're not just thinking about leaving. You're thinking about the ending. You're imagining yourself in a new place, with new people, doing something you love. You're picturing the person you could be if you just made that one hard choice. And when you picture it, your heart beats faster. You feel a spark. For a moment, you forget your age. You feel like you did at 30, before life wore you down. That fantasy isn't foolish. It's not senior daydreaming. It's your spirit rehearsing for what it desperately wants to do. It's a rehearsal for your resurrection. I remember Ruth. She was 80. She'd been a widow for 10 years, and she'd spent those 10 years taking care of her grandchildren because her daughter was a mess. She loved them, but she was tired. She said to me, "Helen, I dream about my own little trailer in the mountains, just a small one, with a porch. I'd have a rocking chair and I'd watch the birds, but I feel guilty. I feel like I'd be abandoning them." I asked her, "Ruth, when you picture that trailer, does it make you feel alive?" She said, "Yes, it makes me want to get out of bed." I said, "That's not a sin, Ruth. That's a calling." She did it. She bought the trailer. She moved. She sees her grandchildren on holidays. And she told me last year, "I'm an old woman, and for the first time, I'm the main character in my own story." The hard truth is this: if you can picture a different ending, then that ending is possible. And if that picture fills you with life, it's not a fantasy. It's a plan. 6. You've already started doing the small things to prepare without telling anyone. This is the one that will catch you. You've already started. You've looked at houses online. You've packed a single box in the back of your closet. You've written a letter you haven't sent. You've made a phone call you didn't finish. You're already doing the work, but you're doing it in secret because you're testing the water. You're seeing if it feels right. It does, doesn't it? It feels terrifying, but it also feels like a secret power. I did that. Years ago, I started packing a bag, just a small one. I kept it in my shed. I didn't tell anyone. It was my freedom bag. I'd put in a book, a pair of socks, a picture of my parents. I'd look at it when I felt trapped. It made me feel brave. And then one day, I put the bag in my car and I drove, and I didn't come back for 2 weeks. I'm not telling you to run away. I'm telling you that the prep work you're doing in the dark is your spirit building a bridge. It's the first step. You've already crossed the starting line. Now you just have to finish the race. The hard truth is this: if you've already started preparing, your mind is made up, your heart is out the door. All that's left is to tell the people you're leaving behind. But the harder question is about you. You've read all 6 signs, and maybe one of them hit you like a fist to the chest. Maybe you recognized yourself in Beatrice or Earl or Ruth. But now I'm turning the fire on you. The question isn't, am I ready? That's the easy question. The question that keeps you awake at night is, am I brave enough to do something about it? You're not afraid of the choice. You're afraid of the reaction. You're afraid of the faces, the silence, the rejection, the blame. But listen to me. I'm 84. I've been through more winters than you can imagine. I've learned one thing, and one thing only. The people who love you truly will eventually understand. And the people who don't? They were never meant to be part of your final chapter anyway. You are not a child. You are not a bad person. You are an elder. You've earned the right to have a last good season. So here's your one actionable step for today. One small thing. You're going to sit down with a piece of paper right now after you finish listening to me, and you're going to write down the name of the person, the place, or the situation you've been thinking about. Just one word. Then you're going to write this question underneath it. What is the next right thing I need to do? And you're going to sit with that piece of paper for 1 hour. You're not going to call anyone. You're not going to share it. You're just going to hold it, and you're going to let the answer come. It will come. It always does. It's been waiting for you to stop running. Down in the comments, tell me, what's the one word you wrote on that paper? Just one word. A name, a place, a feeling. Just one. I read everyone. The fire's burning low. The light's going down behind the rocks. You've got fewer evenings ahead than behind. Don't waste a single one.